Hey everybody, so I figured I'd make a short late night PapaGenos video for you guys since some interesting stuff happened earlier today. As I said in my last video, I plan on just doing on-the-fly content in the lead up to Nintendo's E3 Direct, so that we can keep up with all the gaming news and stuff that I'm sure is going to be flooding in over the next few days. However, I thought it was important to address a leak that's sprung up here recently. I was a little hesitant to make a video about this new leak, as I'm sure many of you are already well aware of this one by now. But even still, I wanted to weigh in on the leak and give you guys my thoughts on it a bit anyway, and for those of you who haven't heard about it, make you aware of it. Given the high likelihood that this leak is legitimate, if you don't want to get spoiled for E3 stuff, stop watching now. Alright, so this leak is coming from Practical Brush 12 over on Reddit. I assume you guys recall Practical Brush 12. They've been the most accurate leaker in the last year or so. Most notably, for us, they leaked Steve was coming to Smash shortly before Steve's reveal. And all of their other leaks have been extremely accurate. Vergeben even suggested not too long ago that everyone pay attention to Brushy. Well, just so everybody's aware, Practical Brush 12 has started to leak E3 stuff now. My Discord wrote, Practical Brush has struck again, this time posting a list of 58 titles, both new and old, and labeling them as predictions. However, their Monster Hunter posts were recently hit with copyright claims from Capcom. And that is true, some of their posts did get taken down by Reddit due to copyright notices. So it's likely that Brush is being more careful from now onwards. Their wording? Hey, new format or something, I predict that we'll see below titles. I guess it's spoilers, further indicates this. Just one Nintendo exclusive game is included, being the sequel to Mario + Rabbids. Brush isn't the first to mention the game, but they may have leaked its full title, Sparks of Hope. Could Mario + Rabbids 2 get announced at Ubisoft Forward? Where will all of these titles be revealed? Alright, so Practical Brush has this huge list of predictions for upcoming game titles. But these predictions are almost certainly just leaked games that are going to show up at E3 events, and leaked titles for games we haven't heard of yet, in the guise of predictions. Practical Brush 12 even says spoiler warning for their predictions list, so it probably isn't predictions at all. Already, some of the stuff on here is starting to get confirmed as well. And the huge EX over on Twitter even backed up the list and confirmed the titles are indeed legit. Okay, so I'm not going to read through this huge list of games. There's a link in the description of this video if you want to browse through it yourself, though. The really notable thing on here, though, is the single Nintendo title, Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Assumedly a sequel to Mario + Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So all of those Mario + Rabbids A Teensy Bit of Trouble leaks are probably fake, and Sparks of Hope is likely the real title for our next Mario + Rabbids game. We sort of already knew a Mario + Rabbids game was probably going to happen eventually, as earlier this year the Rabbids Twitter account briefly changed its name to Mario Rabbids prematurely and quickly changed it back. The Rabbids already got Mii costumes in Smash, so if you're hopeful for them as a fighter, I assume the Mii costumes are all we're gonna get here. Anyway, what's really interesting about Practical Brush 12's list having only a single Nintendo title, and specifically this Nintendo Ubisoft crossover game, is that I think it gives a bit of insight into what we should expect from Practical Brush 12 leaks going forward. Practical Brush 12 usually only leaks games a few days or even a few hours in advance to their reveals. And if we look at the E3 lineup, we can see Ubisoft has a presentation on June 12th. Whereas Nintendo's E3 Direct isn't until June 15th. If the Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope game is being announced at the Ubisoft event and not the Nintendo Direct, it makes sense it's the only Nintendo title currently on Practical Brush 12's prediction list. They likely have gotten info for the Ubisoft event already, but not for the Nintendo event happening on June 15th. Later than the Ubisoft event. Given specifically how a lot of E3 2019 leaked, I have a sneaking suspicion I know exactly how Practical Brush 12 is getting their information, but I'll keep that to myself. The important takeaway, though, is that Practical Brush 12 might update this prediction list or make other prediction lists as we get closer and closer to other events from different companies. Most notably for our Smash speculation concerns, Nintendo's E3 Direct. So Practical Brush 12 is certainly an account worth paying attention to in the coming days if you potentially want to see a leaked Nintendo E3. Or conversely, the Reddit account might be worth avoiding if you don't want spoilers for that. Now, Practical Brush 12 hasn't always been perfect at getting Nintendo info. Last Direct, they leaked a bunch of games, but didn't leak Pyra and Mythra as the Smash reveal, or that Splatoon 3 was happening. So potentially, even if they do get some Nintendo game leaks before Nintendo's E3, they still might miss out on the Smash Fighter reveal or some big game news or something. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. Alright, just a few brief things I want to mention before I end this video. Last time I was talking about a bunch of speculation involving the fire-themed tournament event and why it was held off for over a year before showing up. Over on Discord, Max Koval sent me an interesting alternative theory I hadn't thought of as to why the fire event might have been held off. Hey PapaGenos, I just saw your newest video. I think there's another reason the fire tournament could have been delayed. I'm pretty sure the massive Australian wildfires were happening around then. Maybe they delayed it after deciding it would be insensitive to have a fire-themed tournament at the same time. So it might not be worth reading too much into, in terms of what it means for character speculation. Interesting theory for sure. The sensitive nature of that issue that was going on at the originally scheduled time of the Fire tournament certainly could have caused Nintendo to delay the Fire-themed tournament event, and that's why it didn't show up. I will say they did add Sephiroth and Pyra and Mithra to the tournament after the fact, so whatever made them hold it off, they did end up adding characters to the tournament who wouldn't have been available during its originally scheduled time frame. And lastly, the Castlevania Netflix series is apparently getting a spin-off. The Castlevania universe is getting even bigger. An all-new series starring Richter Belmont, the son of Sypha and Trevor, and Maria Renard, set in France during the French Revolution, is currently in the works. Pretty cool to see we're getting a spin-off of the Castlevania Netflix series, and that our boy Richter is going to be involved. Alright, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Practical Brush 12 is certainly someone to watch if you want to look out for E3 leaks. If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to PapaGenos!
Twitter, Patreon, Discord.